Los Angeles Rams at the Baltimore Ravens. This thing has now come up to 4.5 in favor of the Rams. 46.5 is your total. This was sitting at 3 where I got it. I got it the Rams at 3. It moved to 3.5. Now we get word that it looks like it's not going to be Lamar Jackson again this week, but Tyler Huntley is at least back to kind of guide this Ravens team as well. Boys, if we are for our final narratives of the week, if we're trying to, because that's what we do here. We play narratives. Cooper Kupp. Now this one though. I think as far as like records go and all that, if Cooper Kupp is 231 yards and 18 catches away from the single season record for both of those categories. So he can break the receptions record and the yardage record with 18 receptions and 231 yards. Now, I don't think he's going to get the yardage necessarily because as we know, there's more to it when it comes to the yardage thing. But Steven, you can manufacture catches. You can manufacture receptions and touches and stuff. Every time a guy runs a jet sweep and the quarterback just like drops the ball in front of him and he catches it, that's a reception for the receiver and all of that. So I would bet a lot of money that Sean McVay is going to try to get Cooper Kupp at least one of these records, if not both. So he is going to get fed against this depleted, horrible, terrible secondary for the Ravens that just got torched by Joe Burrow and the Bengals. Cooper Kupp might have 14 catches in this game, and I'm not even exaggerating when I say that.
He might have 3 touchdowns too. I mean, it has nothing to do with the records, obviously, but I mean, Joe Burrow just put up 500 plus yards and what was it, 4 touchdowns, 5 touchdowns, a friggin' lot of production against this completely decimated Ravens secondary. So this was my favorite bet of the week, Matt, earlier this week when I think it was 3. I got it at minus 115 and then it hung out at around 3.5 for a while. And I was debating doubling down, putting 2 units on it. That's how much I loved it. It made no sense to me that that's what the line was after the Rams were 3.5 on the road at Minnesota after playing on a Tuesday. This line made no sense at this point in the season with how decimated they were. We do our power rankings each week. I had the Vikings rated higher than the Ravens at this point in the season with all of the injuries that Baltimore is dealing with. So it's obviously moved back up a little bit. Lamar Jackson's limping around the practice field. He went from a limited practice to no practice. So who the hell knows who's going to start at quarterback for Baltimore at this point? And I don't think it really matters, to be honest with you. So the only question I have for you guys is if you want to back the Rams, what's your stop point here? Where are you going to be not comfortable anymore laying it? Because I think this number is just going to keep climbing.
Rams do get back Andrew Whitworth, their standout tackle from the COVID list. So he will be back out there for them as well. They did have to put Darrell Henderson on IR. So that is something to keep in mind. Sony
I think
Michel,
that's irrelevant though at this point. I mean,
yeah. Yeah. So, well, I think more than anything, because it doesn't look like Cam Akers is going to play either. So this was more from it does look like Sony Michel is going to get all the touches there. So something else to keep in mind if you're looking at these prop numbers whenever they do come out. Brad, listen, I'm not saying that this Rams team is this Bengals offense at this point. I honestly think I would prefer Joe Burrow over Matthew Stafford. And obviously I would prefer the wide receiver trio in Cincinnati over what they've got going on in Los Angeles. But if you're asking me, can they go out and Matthew Stafford, even his current situation, throw for 330 against this secondary? I think that that's something he could definitely do. I'm looking for reasons that this 4.5 is too much, and I'm having trouble coming up with reasons why this 4.5 is too much.
Secondary is getting healthier. It looks like they could get Taven Young, Jimmy Smith, and maybe Chuck Clark back as well. So that's quite a decent improvement just from last week. And then I would say that Stafford is, there is this trend of McVay offenses getting worse in the second half of the year, and Stafford has been pretty bad for like a month now. Last week he threw for 190-something yards at 5 yards an attempt with 3 picks. He was bad. And that's a Vikings defense without any edge rushers, with like Patrick Peterson as their top corner. That's not a good defense. And he really, really struggled in a dome. So, I think it's dangerous to assume he's just coming out here and doing what Joe Burrow did. So I would say at the current number, I might like the under 46.5. I would wait, because I think you might get 47. But there is weather around. The entire US is potential weather this week. As I say, Ravens secondary a bit healthier. Rams not doing much, and then I don't think the Ravens offensive line can block Aaron Donald and the Rams here. The Rams defensive line, number 1 in pass rush win rate. And then you've got the Ravens 28th in pressure allowed, basically. So that's going to be a mess. It's probably going to be Huntley back there. But again, we spoke about this last week. There's going to be more and more tape out there on Huntley. And to assume he can do what he did against the Packers, where, he came in the back door, I don't think we can expect that from him, especially when he's got Aaron Donald, Leonard Floyd, Von Miller in his face. I think that could get messy.
Yeah, it's just going to be tough for me to take any points with the Ravens, given their current offensive situation with Huntley and also just that defense. I do know I get it that they're getting a little bit healthier, but it's still a pretty bad secondary. I think that the Rams are going to be able to do most of what they want to in this one. So it's Rams. I took the Rams at 3. That's a much better number than 4.5. So it's hard for me to recommend 4.5, but it'd be a lay it or pass for me on this one.